Okay, so here are two different types of verifying identities. So go ahead and try them out if you want first. I'm gonna go ahead and start them, so you can pause the video if you want, and then double check with me, or you can just do it with me. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do number one. I notice first that there's two different terms, and on the right hand side, I notice that there's only one term. So I want to be able to combine my left-hand side together to make it one term. So that means that I'm going to have to combine cosine over 1 plus sine theta plus tangent theta. So I need to combine those two together. So since one of them is a fraction and the other one can be put as a fraction, all I got to do is find the least common denominator. Now, before I do something, I know that I can rewrite tangent as sine and cosine because I noticed that on this part, I have a cosine and a sine. It would be best to change this tangent into a sine or a cosine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write cosine of theta over 1 plus sine of theta plus, and I'm going to rewrite tangent as sine theta over cosine theta. Okay, so I'm working right now with my left-hand side. Okay, and hopefully I'm gonna do a little bit of arithmetic or math or whatever, and then I'm gonna get secant theta. So the first thing that I want to do, I'm gonna find the least common denominator. So I know that there's a cosine here. This one's gonna need a cosine, so I'm gonna put a cosine here and a cosine on top. And then this one needs a 1 plus sine. So this one's gonna get a 1 plus sine theta. I'm gonna put it in parentheses, and then a 1 plus sine theta. Okay, so then what I'm gonna get, let me put this equal sign like this, I'm gonna get cosine, let me write it here, cosine theta times cosine theta. So now I have that, and then I have a cosine theta and a 1 plus sine theta. Okay, so I have that, I just swapped these two. And then here I'm gonna have a sine theta, 1 plus sine theta, divided by cosine theta, 1 plus sine theta. Okay, so now that the denominators are the same, I can go ahead and combine both of these. So cosine and cosine is going to give me cosine squared theta. Okay, and then I'm going to add this to this part. I'm going to distribute this, so I'm going to have plus sine theta plus sine squared theta divided by cosine theta, 1 plus sine theta. Okay, so now what I notice is that I can use the Pythagorean identity because I have a cosine squared and I also have a sine squared. And I know that this part is just going to be equal to 1. So I have 1 plus my leftover sine theta all over cosine theta, 1 plus sine theta. Okay, now if you notice on top, I have a 1 plus sine theta and a 1 plus sine theta, so these are going to cancel out. And what I'm left with is just 1 over cosine theta. And I know what 1 over cosine theta is. So that's just going to be equal to secant theta. Now this thing is now equal to the right-hand side, so I have officially finished this proof. Okay, so I verified both sides. Or I verified that side to get secant theta. Okay. All right. Now, the second one, it looks a little crazy. You have cosecant squared theta plus 2 cosecant theta minus 3 divided by cosecant squared theta minus 1 is equal to cosecant theta plus 3 divided by cosecant theta plus 1. Now, the one thing that you have to really notice is that on the left-hand side, you can try to factor that. Okay, so I'm going to work with the left-hand side again. And if I factor that, you'll see how easy this problem is. So I know that in order for me to get a cosecant squared, I'm going to have a cosecant theta here and a cosecant theta here. Now what I got to think about is what two numbers will multiply to get this negative 3 and also add up to get this positive 2. Okay? So if you think about it, if I have this as a positive 3 and I have this as a minus 1, 3 times negative 1 is going to give me this negative 3. Positive 3 minus 1 is going to give me this positive 2. Okay, so I'm just factoring here. And then the bottom portion is just going to be the difference of squares. So this is going to be cosecant theta minus 1, cosecant theta plus 1. And then you can see that the cosecant theta minus 1s are just going to cancel each other out. And what I'm left with is just cosecant theta plus 3 divided by cosecant theta plus 1. And that is exactly what we had over there. Okay? All right, so I'll do one more video after this one, and I'll do a little harder one.